Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you're having a great day. So we've got a few things going on. SEC has denied yet another EFT, that Stitch. They've also decided that exchanges, centralized exchanges, need to report on custodial assets, meaning assets they're holding for other people, as being a part of their own book. So that is a collection grab, a data grab by the SEC. That's a lot. We've got Cordell Broadus, which is, he goes by, Champs Medici or Champs Medici. And his father, who's more well-known, Snoop Dogg, are about to launch a major NFT project on Cardano. And that's actually a big deal. Bored Bunny. Wow. Bored Bunny is being called out as being a slow-moving rug pull. So we'll dig into that a little bit. WeChat has decided that NFTs are speculative digital assets and have basically nixed secondary trades on those and have basically shut down NFT accounts. So that's huge because, in case you didn't know, WeChat is China-based. So that's really, really big. Remember the other day I dropped a video about crypto wallets, and that video, to back up that video, Google has actually closed down 13 of those apps identified by ESET. So we'll get into each one of those things. So let's start with the SEC. Two crazy points here. First, they shut down, they basically say no to another spot, on spot ETF or another spot ETF. It happens to be Kathy Wood's ARK ETF. That's nuts. But take it a step beyond that, and you're not just talking about that spot ETF, right? Combined with the idea that they want exchanges to include, basically treat custodial digital assets, meaning assets that they're holding on behalf of others, as their own assets. So brokerages and electronic exchanges normally report, these are our assets, these are the assets of, that we're holding in custody. That separates brokerages, or how brokerages and digital exchanges operate, and that they're going to tell digital exchanges, nope, that's not what you're going to do from now on. Starting in June, you are going to report those assets as being your own, meaning that you have to give us far more detail about those assets. Wow. Keep in mind what I just said. That's a separation of how brokerages and digital exchanges have been working thus far, basically under those same rules. And now they're saying it's like this. So Coinbase had, 20 something billion of their own assets, 200 some odd billion of the assets of others, or whatever that number is. Now they have to report that as one large number. That's big. That's really, really big. Now, what that tells me is that the SEC is going to take a heavy hand toward cryptocurrency, and maybe looking kind of like an iron-fisted heavy hand toward cryptocurrency in what they're doing and how they're doing it. Got to see how more things play out, but they haven't come out with regulation. They're trying to regulate through action, which is what everybody does not want. And it seems like they're kind of going against what the public kind of wants, So I'm waiting to see. I mean, a group of Congress people, bipartisan no less, I want you to hold that in mind, bipartisan, sent a letter to the SEC. Like, what are you doing? First, it's, too many reports, and now it's, you're asking for a ton more data, treating this group different from this group, yet they perform the same task just for different kinds of assets. I don't think this is going to play out well for the SEC in the long term. I think they need to stop being lazy and sit down and thoughtfully create a regulatory framework for cryptocurrency. That would be a freaking idea, wouldn't it? Just come to realize that the more heavy-handed you are, the more difficult it's going to be. Meaning, if you take an egg and you squeeze it in your hand, what happens? It all oozes out in between. And then what you're left with is a mess, right? The SEC needs to get up off their butts and sit down and give thoughtful, ideas and put those ideas forward into a realistic framework so that they can achieve regulatory compliance within this crypto industry. Most people are not against regulation. Most people want regulation. It's helpful, or it can be helpful, but heavy-handed moves are not helpful. It's my humble opinion about the subject. Cool note on NFTs. Cordell Broadus, better known as Champs Medici. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, dude, just reach out, tell me how to pronounce it. I'll get it right. I apologize now. And his father, Snoop Dogg, right? Now, the reason why I put it in that order and not Snoop Dogg and his son is because it wasn't Snoop's idea. It was his son's idea. And this is how cool his father is. Well, son, if you want me to go do something, go show me why. Go do the research and figure it out and then come back to me. And that's what this young man did. And the result of that is they're going to drop their crypto project with Claymates on Cardano. Yeah. So Snoop Dogg the other day was talking about Cardano and all that good stuff. The reason why is because Cordell had already done the research on what platform, what project he wanted to be involved with and why, and presented that to his father, and his father got behind it. Boom. That's how it should work. That is how it should work. Yeah, he's a rich kid, comes from rich daddy. Great, fine. His dad still made him go through the process. Go through the process. Hat tip, kid. Hat tip to you and your dad for doing that, because I'm sure you've probably come to your dad with other ideas and he's been like, nope. But in this case, you did the research and he was like, yeah, I'm kind of feeling that. Let's do this. And they're far along, like it's about to drop, or it has already dropped, one of the two. But I just wanted to call that out because that's big in the NFT space. And I'm actually proud about how that's worked out. Getting into more news about NFTs. Bored Bunny. They started out, strong. Got some real big names, to talk about them, including Floyd Mayweather, Jake Paul, David Dobrik, DJ Khaled, French Montana, and Chantel Jeffries, just to name a few. These things came out. They were big, cost a little bit of money, got some steam, and it looks like slowly the rug pull started happening. Well, it's been called out by, I don't know how to pronounce this name at all. So if you get mad at me, I have no problem with it. I apologize now. I think it's Zach BXT. I do not know how to pronounce it if it's one word. Please forgive me. But it's been identified by him or her, because I don't know if they're male or female, as a slow-moving rug pull. And investors have lost about $20 million. So they've lost $20 million in value over a slow period of time. Now, it's been identified as a rug pull, but NFTs are not a small space, right? It's not an easy space. And the reason why I bring this story forward is because I'm going to do a video about, the basics about NFTs, the same way I did a video about the basics of wallets. There are a few basics that I want to cover. If there are basics that you want me to cover, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop me a note in the comment section, and let me know what you'd like to hear about or learn more about. And, I'll work on dropping a video. But, looking at Snoop Dogg and looking at Cordell Broadus and what they're doing on Cardano, that's not Snoop or Cordell coming out and saying, oh, we're going to throw our name behind a project. That's not what they're doing. What they're doing is creating a project on their own. And that's drastically different than a bunch of, celebrities shilling for a product or service. That's why they get the hat tip. Whether they fail or succeed in their project, to me, they're already a success, because they're saying, we're not going to put our name on something else. We're going to do it ourselves, and we're going to put that forward. So if it fails, God forbid, don't want it to fail. I don't want it to fail. No, I don't hold any or anything like that. I just like how they're doing this project. But if it fails, nobody will be able to say, oh, that was a rug pull. They won't be able to say that, because they're putting their own money behind it and creating their own products, working with a couple of different companies to pull this off. That's pretty cool. Bored Bunny? Well, I think there are going to be some questions. For those celebrities that backed Bored Bunny, I think there are going to be some questions, right? I mean, it's not the first time. It probably won't be the last time, but hopefully celebrities will start to figure out, maybe we should do a little bit more research before we loan our name to something, right? That's not our own project, so that we can be sure that this project or product is real. And there's my dog. There's Stitch. Cute, right? All right. So the next one is WeChat. WeChat is a very big company in China that has basically said NFTs are too speculative of a digital asset for us to play with, right? And they've basically said, we're done with secondary deals. So if you buy an NFT, fine. But if you try to sell that, nope, done. Done. Killed those NFT accounts. And do you see this guy? I think he just wants to be on camera. All right, gimme. You're interrupting. So them closing that off is another area that NFTs have to deal with, which is why I want to do this video, because NFTs are such a broad space, and everybody thinks of it as just being artwork. It's not. NFTs are much bigger than that. As big as you can think cryptocurrencies are, NFTs are just as big in their own way because of their utility or their usefulness. And we'll get into that. Now, in a follow-up to my wallet video, Google has Google didn't identify, but Google acted on the identification of 13 apps. ESET identified 13 apps that are masquerading as other apps and have been trojanized. A Trojan is a piece of software that lies within another piece of software and performs nefarious tasks. Meaning, you install software on your computer, it installs a Trojan. That Trojan then comes out, locks your computer, and tells you to drop money someplace so you can get the keys to your computer back, supposedly. That's actually a very big deal. And Google took that note from ESET. ESET has a partnership with Google to perform these security tasks, and they did it. Thank you very much, by the way. And Google said, yep, those are bogus apps. Bam. And shut them down. ESET believes that these apps were the creation of a single criminal group. So that's 13 out of tens of thousands of apps that are out there. And not just on Google's platform, but also on Apple's platform. So I want you to take that in and think about that. Be sure of what you're downloading. Be sure of where you're getting it. The link that you're clicking. Be sure that everything lines up before you go and download something. Meaning, don't click a link unless you know you're clicking a link that is given to you from a secure source, a trusted source. So be careful about that. All right. Let's get into the numbers, because this is really interesting. I was having a conversation with my brother And he was telling me that he's identified a number of a number of he's a ham. That's what he is. He's a ham. He's identified a number of cryptos with his algorithms that look like they're in bear territory. And I had said a few days ago when everything started, inching up, that, hey, things are going to inch up, but I'm expecting a pullback. There's going to be profit taking, especially since this whole stupid war by Russia, this crime-filled war, being led by Russia, has not gone away yet. And because that hasn't gone away, it's stifling. That macro event is stifling markets around the world, and not just cryptos, stocks, bonds, options, food supplies, just a whole bunch of stuff. It's affecting the globe. And until that goes away, we're going to see things inch up, inch down, inch up, inch down. You're still going to occupy pockets of space. So Elliot said, well, hey, I see a few coins that are really doing something, but I also see other coins that are looking bearish. And I get that. El, you're my brother. Get it. I totally get it. However, there is news that can affect those coins. So, for instance, you had Zilliqa have a major event yesterday, and they dropped their new metaverse and all that good stuff and blah, blah, blah. And up to that building point, you saw Zilliqa just blow up, just totally skyrocket. Great. That's awesome. You're going to see a pullback. Why? Because all of that was based on hype. Now their project has got to perform. So that hype is going to pull back, as you can see right now, 13%. Now, is that big considering how much they jumped? No, but considering where they are, that's a big number, right? That's a big number. So they're going to pull back. For sure, they're going to pull back. You're looking at the pullback right now. Who else is pulling back? ApeCoin pulling back. That's only 5%. You know my 5% rule. We're not even going to get into it. But you have projects that have made moves pulling back. If you see a pullback of 10%, what are the chances of them flipping back onto the winner side and jumping up, 10, 12, 15%? Decently high. Why? Because we're bouncing within ranges. We establish a range, we bounce in that range. We establish a range, we bounce in that range. We're not seeing major moves, drops, and things like that. You can't predict them either, but everything is a chance, right? So you can be taking a chance that something pops up. So I'm looking at what's on the good side, and I see helium up 8.56%. Let's see, is there anybody else? I thought I missed somebody up here that I was interested in. Nope. You have helium, near network protocol up 8%. Anybody else? CeeLo up 6%. Haven't been paying attention a lot to CeeLo. I'm not a holder of it, but it is a project that I was interested in before. Don't really hear a lot about them in the news, but they're up 6%. Not a bad move, So let's go take a look at the rest of the world. And like I was telling you before, you have projects that are making moves. Bitcoin is still bouncing within a range. And I just want to show you the visual range right now. So it's bouncing within a range, took a dip, came back up into the range. It's at the low end of that range, right? It's the low end of that range, and we're bouncing from 48 down to about 45. Still bouncing within that range because it hit below 45 before. We were closer to the 48 range. Now we're down here. But when I look at what's going on, it's still going up. It's still going up. You're going to see things, like I said, you're going to see things pop up, go down, pop up, go down. I think you're going to see a pullback, a little bit of a pullback before things explode up again. When that happens, don't know. But I'm paying attention now. I'm trying to understand the rhythm of the coins that I'm interested in so I can make more happy moves with those coins. The fear and greed index yesterday was 54. Today it's 48. So you're in the lower spectrum of the neutral territory right now. Remember, late last week, we were in greed. We were in the greed section. Things shot up and then profit taking. Just saying. Pay attention to that. Sometimes things shoot up and my brother calls it a sell on the rip, right? Because it went up. So you're selling to take profit on the rip. And people might be buying on that rip instead of pulling back, waiting for the dip that inevitably happens and then purchasing on the dip. Well, we're in a dip session right now. And like I keep saying, the whole crypto space, or pretty much all of it, is on a downward, not on a downward trend, but is on the low end. They're off by, 30+% of their all-time highs that were achieved late last year, a couple in January, but mostly December of last year, November, December timeframe. Will we see things go back up? Yeah, I believe so. Is April the month that we'll see things go back up? I think we'll start to see things go back up this month. But I think we're going to bounce for a little while. I won't be surprised if things don't really go back up until June. But I do expect a major upswing, in which case I'll be shaving off a lot of profit. Not a little bit, a lot. And not because I want to dump and get out. It's because I want to realize profit, wait for pullbacks, buy back in. There's always a pullback. So you can make, my plan is I want to make exponential growth, right? Identify places where I can make exponential growth. Identify places where I can make high percentage growth. Take my profit, wait for the pullback, get back in at that lower point. And I might not hit at the lowest point. I might not hit at the highest point, but I want to realize my profits. Again, I'm using different sets of wallets to pull this off. There are some wallets I'm using to actually hold. I've bought, I've put them there, and I'm not thinking about those anymore. Then I have other wallets where I've bought and I'm paying attention to how the trades are going. I'm paying attention to the news that's out there, and I'm playing that game. All right? Pay attention. Pay attention. The numbers for the most part are really, really good. Again, Bitcoin at 46, almost 46.5, not bad. ETH at 34, basically 35. Because you're at 34.95, that's basically 35. That's a huge number for Ethereum. These are great numbers. So pay attention to the numbers, understand the rhythms of what you're working with, and dive in, right? Make decisions based on your own research. Again, you can listen to somebody like me, listen to a group of us, but always, do your own research so you can get a more robust picture about what you want to do and what you want to do it with. Just looking at, the list of coins that are out there, some of them are making moves. Doge is making almost 4% move today. SHIB, not so much. And yes, we'll talk about, Luna jumping up. We'll talk about Solana jumping up. Look at that. That's a move. It jumped above XRP. You knew it was coming. It came, done. Now we're looking for Luna to do the same thing. Solana did it. Now we're looking for Luna to possibly do the same thing very near term. Looking at Cardano, it's in striking distance, but it's having a little bit of a hard time busting through and maintaining that over $1.20 mark, right? When it hits above $1.20 and it can stay above $1.20, $1.22, I think it's going to keep going. And that's when it'll make its next jump. Avalanche doing well, even though it's got a tiny, tiny little pullback. But look at this, 13% in the past 7 days. 23% in the past 30 days. Just saying. Pay attention to these things because these things can make you money. Near network protocol, again, 8.24%. That's a big deal. So as you keep looking for those deals that you want to pay attention to, like Helium up 8.3%, right? Helium's been on a tear. They really have been on a tear. They've been giving you a lot of make money, then dropping, making money, and then dropping. A few days ago, I had said it was up 10%. I alerted one of my friends that's actually holding, Helium, and I said, hey, it's up 10%, and you have a rule, 10%. You might want to make that shave, and then it pulled back a little bit. So she could have made that shave, gotten some profit, and then bought back in a little bit lower. That's what it's all about when you're thinking about this. Gala. All right, I'm a little bit happy. It's off the 25 mark. It's up to 26. But I need some big news and I need some big events to happen with Gala. Highly possible that they're not going to say anything until they feel the market is ripe for that good news so they can fully capitalize on that good news. Same for a few of these stocks. All right. Or sorry, not stocks, but, you know, digital assets. So hope you have a great day. Enjoy the rest of it. I do have another video coming out on NFTs. I'm going to try to get it done today. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Really tells me what I'm doing is, you know, helpful to you. Hit the subscribe button. That really drives the point home, me and my kids, so they know that, hey, daddy's doing a good job and they're learning, you're learning. If you've got questions, drop a note in the comments and I'll try to get to them. I respond to a whole bunch of people in the comment sections. Also, hit the notification bell so that you know when I drop videos. I try to do videos, you know, every day, but sometimes I'll miss a day simply because, you know, technical problems, or I just want to take a day off. Like yesterday, I took the day off. I was just like, I just want a day to myself. But it didn't mean I wasn't working. It just meant I didn't feel like dropping a video. You know, plus I wanted to shave, you know. Anyway, hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.